From Kisumu, we head over to Baku, and the question is, just why did the advisory board of the Santiago Network on Loss and Damage pick Geneva as a host of the secretariat bypassing Nairobi, despite the Kenyan capital scoring higher than the Swiss capital? That is a question African negotiators are battling with at the COP29, even as climate finance continues to divide the global north and the global south. The AGN and Africa Civil Society have vowed to challenge the decision of the board while fighting to have climate finance to the global south designated as grants and not investments. Obran Kimani has more from Baku, Azerbaijan.
Well, the painstaking and the difficult process of negotiating a COP29 deal continues here in Baku. This is going to be a painstaking process, as I told you. It has always been. It's never easy here at every COP, and that is exactly what is happening here. Countries are taking positions, and of course, party interest is what is reigning supreme here.
On the 25th of March this year, the advisory board of the Santiago Network on Loss and Damage held its first meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, picking Geneva as the host of the secretariat of the SNLD. The decision shocked many in the climate circles, as Nairobi had emerged as a front-runner to host the critical secretariat that will be in charge of making important decisions on the loss and damage funds.
We celebrated when the Loss and Damage Fund was established. We went on to experience a secretariat that has been formed. And one of us, Ibrahim Sheikh, was appointed the executive director of the Loss and Damage Fund. Just yesterday, he was interviewed that from the pledges of $700 million, how much has been redeemed from the $700 million to the Loss and Damage Fund? He could not respond and give one figure that this has been redeemed.
Nairobi emerged as the winner according to the assessment that was done by a technical report by the UNOPS UNDRR on the cost effectiveness and cost-benefit analysis of various locations around the world. The Kenyan capital outpaced Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, Bonn in Germany, Brussels in Belgium, and Geneva in Switzerland.
By and by, the people who are supposed to take responsibility are abandoning us into negotiations. So in other words, it is us, the South, who are in negotiations. Those who have caused the problem are running away.
The advisory board disregarded the opinion of the technical committee, picking Geneva without any explanation. The African group of negotiators are further calling on the global north to recognize the special needs and circumstances of the African continent and advance the much-needed climate finance with grants of not less than $1.3 trillion annually. This comes as the meeting in Baku entered the critical stage, with technical committees yet to agree on the much-awaited draft text.
Let us safeguard our future and the future of the generations to come. It is only that when it is demonstrated here that we are going to be sure that we are together in this match.
On Saturday night, the scheduled closing session was delayed for 5 hours as diplomats tried to find an agreement on the way forward. Some of the issues dividing negotiators include cuts on emissions, who should contribute to the climate finance, who should be eligible to receive the funding, whether it should be entirely grant-based or public-private investment, among other issues.
We're not leaving this venue until the fat lady sings. We'll continue to give you daily updates on what is happening here. Today is a Sunday, and of course, delegates are taking a rest before they resume to this task of crafting a COP29 deal tomorrow. O'Brien Kimani is my name. Thank you for joining us from the city of Baku in Azerbaijan.